When you look at your own writing career and you think back to how you were approaching your early stories and how you approach your stories now, are you seeing that play out, that you have a better handle on the mechanics so you can venture into
Mm.
more creative approaches to your writing?
Yeah, it's interesting actually. I was saying to someone the other day, like the book I released at the start of this year was The Gulp, which is sort of 5 interconnected stories, horror stories set in a fictional Australian harbour town. And I've just finished writing the next set of 5, which will be out next year, which kind of creates a whole set of 10 with this overarching theme, and each story is individual and they all interact and all that sort of stuff. And I was talking to someone about this last week or the week before and saying how it's really interesting that this is an idea I'd had for a long time, but it's only now that I could do that. I feel like I've done a really good job of it, but I couldn't have done that 10 years ago. I couldn't have written, even though the sort of concept was there and the idea was there, I couldn't have pulled that off 10 years ago. I wasn't good enough to develop the characters and the interacting storylines and to weave it all together. And I think a lot of that comes down to those early stories where you're sort of almost trying too hard because you're trying to find what it is that you're doing. You're trying to find good language and you're trying to find cool ideas. And I'm still very proud of my early books and my early stories, but I think there is some degree of that in there where you're searching for your voice and you're almost trying too hard. And as you get better, the more you do it, the more you relax, the more your own voice and your style comes through. And then the more you're able to really draw, because a lot of the ideas, what you're doing is trying to realize the subconscious. Within the martial arts, one of the things my students get sick of hearing me say it, but one of the things I say probably more than anything else is relax, 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 which is contradictory in itself because it's really hard work. So you've got to be fit, you've got to be strong, you've really got to use your body properly. And when people are trying to do that in the first case, they tend to be stiff and slow and a bit and trying to think of all the things. Whereas as they get stronger and their bodies become stronger and more flexible through that practice, they're more capable of doing those things. And then they need to learn to hold the energy and the power and the body in the right places, but otherwise relax, because the best expression comes through when you're relaxed. And that's the same with writing. I think the more you get used to it, the less you're trying hard to make a story or to make interesting language, the more you relax, the more you express that subconscious of that real heart of what it is that you're trying to say, the more that can come through. So yeah, there's a definite parallel in getting good enough to relax and let out what it is that you're really trying to express.